2020 has been a year like none other. With COVID, racial tensions at an all-time high, and even a contentious presidential election, it would be understandable if you missed the dramatic changes that have taken place in Virginia since a new ideology swept our elections in 2019.
First, the liberals erased 50 years of pro-life policy in one bill. They wiped out informed consent, the right of a woman to see her ultrasound, safety standards, and a law that was passed in 1975 that assured women they would know that they could have a doctor, not a nurse or midwife, perform their abortion.
Next, after 20 years of the Family Foundation and conservative legislators blocking all attempts to change our code to elevate subjective concepts like sexual orientation and gender identity to a specially protected status, they passed the so-called Virginia Values Act. And under this law, churches and faith-based entities like schools who maintain biblical values about human sexuality have to ignore their core tenets of faith and can no longer hold their employees accountable to live consistently with those religious tenets.
Then they left children with unwanted same-sex attraction or gender dysphoria without help, as they banned counseling that provides restorative guidance.
They also forced new transgender guidelines into the schools to compel students and teachers to adopt a view of human sexuality that conflicts with their values and biological realities, while threatening the privacy and safety of girls by allowing biological males to enter changing areas of the opposite sex.
And the newest thing is the creation of the sex text line. Kid-friendly postcards are showing up in families' mailboxes, inviting our teens to use what amounts to a sex text hotline promoted by the state government. The postcard invites your children to anonymously text their questions about sex, relationships, and gender identity to a stranger.
And don't forget about the new taxes.
Without the resolve of the Family Foundation, it could be easy to give up on our Commonwealth, to turn it over to groups like Equality Virginia, Planned Parenthood, and the ACLU. But giving up at a time like this would mean
our school choice scholarships are dismantled, pulling educational opportunities for more than 4,500 low-income children.
Our Constitution gets amended, ensuring the right to an abortion, even if the Supreme Court overturns Roe.
Marijuana gets legalized.
The definition of child abuse and neglect is changed to include any mental distress caused by a parent who simply encourages their child to accept and embrace their God-given gender and sexuality.
So instead of giving up, we're doubling down.
We know true change, true freedom movements happen from the ground up, beginning in our local communities, not through top-down efforts working in isolation. That's why we're inviting you to help us launch one of the Family Foundation's most crucial initiatives this year, Speak Up Virginia. With this initiative, we want to join millions of Commonwealth voices together in a way that can't be ignored and can't fail to be heard. Through Speak Up Virginia, we are creating a force for the family that can be mobilized at a moment's notice all across the state when urgent action is needed most. The strategy is twofold. One, we're going to be building up and strengthening a mobilization force through text and email. We're also building Speak Up regional teams all across the state. From the days of our founding fathers, we've always known that true revolution starts from the bottom up. And with you and me and every person sitting in the church pew next to you, that's where your support for Speak Up Virginia is key. We are stronger when we speak together.
We're working harder than ever to encourage pastors and lay leaders to stand firm on biblical truth through the Virginia Pastors Network.
And those that need fortifying in their faith more than ever are the next generation. Rather than just reaching a few students with our Equip Worldview Academy hosted at our headquarters, we've moved it to live stream to ensure high school and college-age students across the nation are able to defend their beliefs against secular, progressive ideas they encounter daily.
We've realized that while we can advocate in the legislature and battle over governor-led initiatives in the executive agencies, if we can't defend the victims of unjust laws in the courtroom, bad laws are here to stay. In order to do that, just this year, the Family Foundation launched our own legal arm, Founding Freedoms Law Center, to help individuals, businesses, and ministry leaders continue to prosper and live out their deeply held religious convictions, despite laws attempting to shut them down. Already, Founding Freedoms Law Center has helped pro-lifers continue saving lives daily through their mobile ultrasound ministry during the pandemic, when the government told them that Planned Parenthood could stay, but they had to go.
And don't forget about all the big initiatives we have with the Capital Campaign. We haven't told everyone about that yet. Stay tuned.
Finally, we can't help but talk more about our political sister organization, the Family Foundation Action. To date, it has done great work with voter guides and report cards. But if elected officials come to Richmond with their minds made up and their pockets lined from the abortion industry, they need to go. This year, our team took this organization to new levels, knocking on more than 50,000 doors and calling into over 115,000 homes to tell people that their congresswoman was pro-abortion. This work is also paving the way for efforts to replace our governor with a governor who stands for our values. It is possible.
Thanks to the generosity of our donors, we have played a leading role for over 3 decades in advancing and protecting our time-honored values through education, advocacy, accountability, and litigation. Your prayers and financial support to date have allowed us to start some new initiatives and strengthen others. In order to win the war against liberalism in our public policy, win over the next generation, and win at the ballot box, we need your help now. In this difficult year where nothing seems normal, let's make sure the policies created in 2020 disappear along with the virus. And the way to do that is to give. Please give now by going to our website at familyfoundation.org.